Everyone, it's Krista here doing the weekly reading for the sign of Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Thank you so much for sticking around. I was really sick last week, but I'm much better now. I have my voice back. And I did some contemplation over the weekend. And instead of further work into healing, this week we're going to be looking at hidden strengths. So the reading will be with regard to hidden strengths. Basically just concepts or ideas or outcomes that you didn't know were available to you that are indeed available to you, or if you were just looking for confirmation with regard to moving ahead a specific way this week. Let's look at what the cards have to say with regard to your hidden strengths. So this is for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is for the week of October 24th through to the 31st. You can always look at your Moon and Rising sign readings in addition to your Sun sign reading for added clarity, or in case this isn't resonating with you for any reason. It is a general reading, so whatever is most prominent in your life, I encourage you to take these messages and apply them to, and hopefully you find them helpful and healing. So what does Aquarius need to know about hidden strengths this week? A lot of soul searching this week, getting down to the nitty gritty. Someone's making some plans, what to get rid of, what to keep in your life, really doing some deciphering this week. Not necessarily any action being taken, but you're really going to want to sit down and decipher in which direction to move and how to move forward with regard to what is most prominent in your life right now, for example. And you're probably looking at it, or at least coming at this theme this week, Aquarius, from a state of, a foundation. It looks like you've already got your foundation probably with regard to your concern this week. But you could go sort of blindly and without causing too many ripples or asking too many questions. You probably could keep going and be just fine. But I think that you're far more interested in being true to yourself and doing what's proper and what's best for you and for the good of everyone here. And I just don't see you taking the easy road here. I mean, you're interested in doing what is best for everybody, even if it means starting over. I'm not seeing you start over here necessarily, but you're really putting yourself to the test this week and really being fair and really being thorough. So, and while you could be looking at, what are other people contributing? What are other people doing? What are they? You're not really doing that this week. This week you're saying it's about me. What am I offering? What am I projecting? What am I planning to acquire? What am I planning to give up in order to move in this direction? So you're really taking stock, essentially, of where you are right now, what plans have already begun, and how you wish to proceed in the future. So it's just a nice week around planning, frankly. And with regard to hidden strengths, I'm going to suggest that you take your time. I know a lot of time, not just for Aquarians, but a lot of people really feel pressure to make a decision, right? We do. It's just it's the nature of the beast right now in the Western world. It's like, you're running out of time, or you have to hurry up, or there's a deadline, right? And unless this is an actual school project or a work project or some sort of theme that has a definitive deadline, and I would even consider looking at extensions if there are deadlines, by the way, this week. Ask for extensions if that's the case. But if there is no definitive deadline and you sort of set something up for yourself, maybe decide, you're going to give yourself a little bit of wiggle room, if only to improve what you had originally planned for here, okay? You don't want to take the next year and do this, but you do want to sit down with this over the next day or so, or take a couple of days where you have time to put your energy into, this is what's underway. I like these 2 things about it, but I'd like to change these 3 or 5 things about it, or vice versa, or you get the drift, right? You're just really taking a look at how things are behaving once they're underway, how to improve them, and how to go about improving them in terms of what needs to be taken out and what needs to be injected into it, or what can remain the same, essentially. So we're looking at chopped wood in the central position representing you. This is really just about humility. This is really about being in the midst of something, and how whatever excitement there was going into it, whatever drama there was going into it, whatever accolades or even awards there was going into this, there is this sense of reflection right now. There's a sense of either having humbled yourself, which I sincerely hope that's what you've done, or having been humbled. That's hard for everybody. No one wants to be humbled, but it could be that you find yourself in a humbling position this week. Not necessarily terrible or horrible. Things might not have fallen apart necessarily here for you, but you're in a position now where you have to take stock, okay? And again, as I just mentioned, I really hope that the condition was that you stopped yourself, right? That you said, oh, I see where this is going and I have it all planned out. And like I said at the start, you can keep going that way. It's going to be quote unquote successful. You can get it done, etc. But you've learned something in the meantime, or you've acquired something, or you want to address something in the meantime, and it's going to take some assessment here. It could be that the project itself, or the relationship as it were, or the concern is humbling, okay? Perhaps you literally just bit off more than you can chew. It's not a judgment call, and I wouldn't even, if that's the case, I wouldn't even be hard on yourself about it. I would give yourself a lot of credit for even, taking a chance here, trying something, really believing in yourself that you could plan for something long-term here. This is what happens when we get involved in new things or new projects or events, is that you can't have possibly known. This is just part and parcel of having done this. So really, if there's any being hard on yourself here, or if you're giving yourself some grief for, being humbled or humbling yourself to something that you wish you didn't have to, or you didn't see coming, no matter how it appears for you this week, just, ultimately give it thanks, right? I mean, the slowing down period is actually going to work to your benefit. It's just that you can't move as fast as you wanted to, but for some reason, that's to your benefit right now. Building blocks is in the influence to your current position, which of course is chop wood. We're looking at being humble about something. Hopefully that you put yourself in this position, that you've realized something, and have been able to contain something, or reassess something here of your own accord. Or if someone else has been helping you through this, they're not going to lord it over you. Certainly don't let anyone lord anything over you. But with building blocks, this is where the foundation has already begun. You've already started something, right? Was it going to work out if you kept going without assessing it? Again, very likely, absolutely. But would it have had the same heart, the same influence, the same probable outcome? No. And this is natural in projects. This is natural in really planning anything. We know this for a really good example of this is just saying that there are, quotes, okay? You get a quote to get a car fixed. They give you a quote for a reason, right? They're quoting you. It's an estimation. And this is what we're looking at here. We're looking at an estimation that, you've begun something through estimation with all the skills and the knowledge that you had going into it. But in the process of it, you've learned, and thank God, because this is the whole point of living, is to learn as you grow. And then you're like, oh, okay, well, I don't need this, or I need more of something here. Very possibly more from yourself, okay? You need to put more time or energy or even money or resources into what you plan to make out of the foundation here. So whatever you do, no matter how you're reading this, don't give yourself a hard time. That's not what this is about. This is just about reassessing and reevaluating in order to make everything exactly flowing in the direction you want it to go, and as positive and with as beautiful an outcome for everyone, including you, as possible. Here with your probable outcome being blessed. Honest to God, Aquarius, I'm seeing this. This is going to, if you didn't do this yourself and humble, it's going to feel like a pain in the butt, right? It's going to feel possibly even humiliating. And I'm only laughing because nobody wants to be humiliated. Nobody wants to be humbled. But I promise you, the beautiful part of it is that you will end up thanking it. For some reason, you've been stopped or thwarted or something has created a road bump or a speed bump or like a hurdle, right? And you didn't want it, you didn't anticipate it, but you'll be able to see in short time, oh my God, I'm so glad that happened, because the foundation I had built weren't as solid as I thought, or I did need to switch this up and I didn't see it when I started, or this person isn't as trustworthy as I thought at the beginning. Now I know, okay, you see where I'm going with that? That's all it is. All it is a reassessment and an adjustment through a sense of humility. And it's a beautiful thing. It's an absolutely beautiful thing, even if it can bring us to our knees sometimes, depending on what this is touching on in your life. But recognize here that you are blessed. Her stars are very much in tune with yours. If you need help or strength this week, of course, call on people in your own life, but certainly ancestors that have passed. If you're a spiritual person at all, like I am, you'll call upon, archangels or guardian angels or Mother Mary or an ancestor of your family, for example. It could be someone that you're turning to who's written books or done videos. Could be a comedian, for heaven's sakes, that you get a lot of joy and peace from, and they've passed. They're not on this plane anymore, but they bring you a lot of joy and they help. Anything that is going to help you recognize your worth and to feel confident in moving forward. Really look to that person this week, okay? Or people, if it's a group. It can also include a parent or a sibling, right? Never discount the people in our own lives who love us. Here with Observer being general energy for the week. Of course, Observer is touching on the whole spread. Here's where I even began the whole reading as a type of assessment. You're really getting sort of a bird's eye view of perhaps what you had your nose too close to, or you had too much stock in. Some people say, you couldn't see the forest for the trees. This is all this means. It means you were so involved, you're so engaged, you were too close to something to see what might have gone wrong, or might have fallen apart, or might have needed some adjustment here. But it's natural. It's natural to any project or theme or even personal growth here. So just recognize that this is part and parcel, and give yourself a lot of credit for having taken this time out, or even heeding this message, okay? Being aware of how important it is to slow down and take stock and assess what may not be in your best interest going forward, even after creating a foundation here. But what a beautiful time to do it. I mean, it's not like you're seeing this problem, and even if you did, you'll successfully get around it. But it's not like you've got the whole castle, and you're putting the flag at the top of the castle, and then you realize the foundation's shaky. That would be worrisome and sorrowful. So just recognize it's to your benefit that this is happening early on, and it'll work out. It'll work out to your benefit, and probably even better than you had expected had you just kept going without a reassessment. Here with Elk, we're looking at self-esteem. Yes, it could have something to do with your self-esteem this week here with humility. That's natural. And you're an air sign, right? So there's a great deal of intellectualism involved. It's not like you're going into anything from a feeling or even an intuitive perspective here. Maybe that's what's going on. You're sort of, you met your match with regard to an intuition. You know, you didn't listen to your intuition. You didn't listen to, say, you know, your gut feeling, so to speak here. And you're sort of saying, oh, wow, I see it now. I see it now. You can't intellectualize everything because the mind plays tricks on us. So it could just be a sense of, you know, it shot your self-esteem a little bit. Or on the other hand, that your self-esteem is going to be heightened now because now you know, oh, that feeling, I'm going to rely on that in the future. Now I know, listen to that gut feeling, listen to that intuition. So here again, with support, just doubling up on support here. Just know that you very much are supported. Someone is on your side. Even if you're not reaching out, you do have a great deal of protection. So please don't feel alone or feel as though you are being brought down. Because this is, you know, it's going to be unsettling and it's going to feel maybe a little bit upsetting, but don't let it cloud everything, okay? Just know that this is temporary and it's necessary to getting where you really need to go and to the success that you really plan for. So support, and then of course surrender and release. Surrender all fear and release all doubt, okay? Surrender fear. Surrender the need to know everything right now. Surrender the need to have all the answers or to get everything right. Because that's extremely daunting and it's debilitating, right? It's hard to make a move if everything has to be right all the time. Give yourself room to make mistakes here. It will actually come to your benefit in the future, believe it or not. And like I said, it'll keep you from creating the castle on a shaky foundation. Now you're seeing the foundation for what it is. And then release doubt. Understand that you do have what it takes. It's just you needed to reassess something. It's the mark of a genius. You're just going over your detailed plans and making something better than it was before. So I hope that this helped you. If you have a second, please comment below. I love hearing from you. And it is free to subscribe to my channel, so you can do that today and get notifications for all of your weekly videos. And in due time, I'll be posting face-to-face videos about your sign as well, so we can hopefully connect that way in the near future. So I really appreciate you being here with me, Aquarius. Please take good care of yourself until I meet you in the next video. Bye for now.